The last city on my Jiangnan trip was Shanghai, the great big metropolitan city of China. If the word for Beijing is power, then the word for Shanghai is money. Grand and gorgeous, busy and bustling, with forests of skyscrapers, winding highway bridges that look like the wings of butterflies or infinity signs. In small towns like Wuzhen and Lijiang, one checks out the history. In big cities like Shanghai, what does one do? One goes clubbing. Duh. I went clubbing with Owen on a Thursday night. Owen is one of my favorite professors from university. Open, direct, to the point, a PhD and a former race car driver. He is the perfect fusion of the cool and nerdy. A serious party animal and a sensitive, perceptive friend. Passionate about teaching and compassionate toward those who are trying to learn. Keen in his observations, solid and grounded in his arguments. Owens always instills a sense of confidence in me whenever I try to make sense of piles of airy-fairy consumer research that all seem to point in different directions. In class, he speaks with the rhythmic pulsations of a rap singer, making sure there is a heavy drum beat to accompany every point he wants us to remember. I took his brand management class in fourth year and just loved it. He's so articulate and specific and great at explaining even the nooks and crannies of the consumer mind that often go unnoticed or unarticulated. In marketing, we call it consumer insights. This kind of astute observation extends all the way to the way he sees our learning habits. For example, when Owen was a student, he discovered the reason he was so bad at math. I remember this because I was also bad at math. Was because he had the habit of dropping the units at the end of equations and hence would get confused and messed up in the subsequent calculations. Once he's corrected that little habit, his grades improved dramatically. Similarly, in marketing, the right insights could generate millions in additional revenue. That insight, that kernel of truth, is often hard to find. Sometimes it's hidden in plain sight. Sometimes it's buried deep inside the consumer's subconscious. He taught with the precision and certainty of a surgeon's scalpel that cuts into this mysterious, mushy, gray matter known as the consumer psyche. That's what made his classes so fascinating. After we graduated, Owen welcomed his students into his personal life. All his former students would go for drinks once in a while, and he would invite us to his Halloween house parties. While I'm honored and excited to be invited in his life, I have to admit, I still feel somewhat awkward sometimes, unsure how to regard him as a friend and no longer as a teacher. Because in Chinese culture, a teacher is a highly regarded figure, deserving the kind of respect equal to that of parents or elders from the previous generation. And this kind of regard and respect continues for a lifetime, even if he's no longer your teacher. One day a teacher, always a father. While I'm still trying to make this mental adjustment, I met up with Owen in Shanghai, who was teaching an international MBA course at one of the best universities in China. Owen, yes, the foreigner who doesn't speak Chinese beyond hello and thank you, showed me around the nightlife of Shanghai. He took me to a couple of trendy pubs and clubs frequented by expats. Very posh and very nice. We smoked shisha out of a hookah, drank sambuca, saw the Bund, watched the Chinese flag brandish in the wind, which was an odd place for a Chinese flag to me, in the middle of an outdoor patio of a nightclub by the Bund. I guess it is China after all, where patriotism show up just to remind you where you are. Owen told me when he came to Shanghai last year to teach the same course for a week, he met Claire for the first time, his now girlfriend from Paris. At the pub Barbarossa where we smoked shisha, their love